contacted Susan today, and we're talking about moving ahead on the 40 corridor. Well, we're down to the point now where it's going to be up to council to get with the township and decide what we need to do. So, but we've got to get some monies together, get some figures together on what we want to do and how we want to go about it. So what I want to do is use, as we always have, use Susan and Moat and Associates as in a advisory capacity in this procedure, and they'll naturally, we need to compensate them on their hourly wage of $65 an hour in order to do so. You know, that's what they charge us.
Has the county agreed to
No.
assist us
No,
in this?
No, the last meeting I attended with Shonda and Denise Roberts was there and the township was there. They are now at a point where discussion is over. They want an answer from the village and from the township whether we want to proceed forward toward this project. Well, I told them, I said, you know, we haven't met. We're going to call an informational meeting between the two identities and see what everybody thinks and present the facts out here. But it's hard to sit down and say what it is until you have some numbers. We need some type of idea of what kind of money we're looking at. Right now, there's an estimated, for $2 million, it's $210,000 a year payment. So if you split that up 3 ways, that's $70,000 an entity, village, township, and county. None of us is going to be able to survive that $70,000. We don't have the money to do so. But we're hoping that with some information, if we could set up something like they did with the water here when they had to borrow the money for the water
Through USDA.
through USDA, to find out what that money would cost us and have some hard facts and some hard numbers to look at and make a decision whether we're going to try and move forward out there or not.
Also with the possible grants and all different types of things.
And Susan's the one with those answers.
What were the results of the market study?
Market study was basically motels.
Oh.
And I honestly, in my opinion, there's all kinds of motels out there. I don't think, I mean, anything's better than nothing.
What's not there already?
But
What name?
now they're saying that light manufacturing has not ruled out, but in their opinion, maybe not be the best spot. Part of the problem is though, until the infrastructure's out there, you don't know what the possibilities really are. It's kind of, you know, their market study was, okay, this is what we think, and they put all their information in the computer and they spit it out there, and this is what we think. Now, if you'd like a more in-depth study,
Yeah.
then send us some more money.
That's what it amounts to.
But it's a starting, we have to have a starting point to approach the commissioners about whether, you know, if the commissioners don't get on board with this thing, it's a dead issue anyway. So now the commissioner in charge at the meeting is saying, okay, people, what is it you want to do?
And
Bring
what-
some numbers to us
Put
and a
up or shut up,
decision
pretty
as
much
to
it.
what you think we want to try and do. Well, in order to make a decision, we need some numbers.
Some hard numbers.
We need some hard numbers. And so that's what we would like to have Susan do, because we all know Susan's good at what she does.
And Susan was the one who originally, when this project, or that was done in the town, was set up in 2000, she was the one, and their company is the one that did all this, did all background
Do
information.
we have any idea what that's going to cost?
Well, it's her time her time for information is $65 an hour is what Moat charges us. And she's not going to abuse it.
No, I think she's perfectly fair and reasonable.
Yeah. So it's $65 an hour for however many hours it's going to take. And she didn't give us an answer. She didn't say how many hours she thinks. She said she'd work on it, come up with something. Susan's always been more than fair with the village. I don't see her not being fair with the village as far as that. Now, it's going to be 100 hours, but it's not going to be 100 hours. Just go make some phone calls, get some numbers put together.
What grants are available?
What grants are available, and see if this thing's even possible. I mean, right now, you know, we've been discussing this thing for a couple years now.
No, it's actually been doing it for 13 years.
Well, we've been having meetings out there with Shonda and everything, but Shonda is basically, and Shonda is economic development. basically, at the last meeting, he said, okay, people, I'm done working on this until you people make a decision, whether you want to start a JIT, or do you want to have a TIF, or do you want to move forward this direction, or do you want to let Richmond try to come across the state line? So, and I don't think anybody wants Richmond to come across the state line, or even if they could, I don't know, you know, they're already across the state line, they have sewer,
Yeah.
they already have sewer at New Creations. So, and, you know, once they get their, they've got a $65 million upgrade going on in Richmond on their sewers, and I'm sure once they get that done, they'll be willing to take all any money that they can find. So, and maybe that's even a possibility out there coming this direction. I think it's, you know, it's going to develop. The question is when it's going to develop out there. So, and I have copies made up of the market study for everybody. It's about 90 pages. So it takes a printer all day to print it out. It's a lot better to download it to the computer and look at it on
Yes.
the computer than it is to have 90 copies,
Yes.
20 copies made up of 90 pages of it. So anybody wants that, we can download that to whoever wants to take a look at that. But right now, I mean, we haven't even sit down with the township. You know, the township's been involved in every one of these meetings like we've been involved with it. There's no hard decision. It's all been general discussion. What's everybody thinking about? What would everybody prefer? You know, all this kind of stuff. And so now it's down to the point where
We need to make a decision.
we make a decision, either quit talking about it or try and move forward. And we can't do that until we know what kind of money it's going to be.
And that's what we need Susan Ford to do, just exactly that. So we put it on the table, set up a meeting and move ahead.
It's $3 million. It's $3 million, $3.1 million to run water and sewer out there. So we know that there's a $500,000 grant out there that's accessible already. Shauna has that. She's confident that she gave $500,000. So, you know, if Susan can find something else, and we start whittling on this
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
maybe we can get that number down to where it's going to be
Something that's
feasible.
affordable.
Where it's going to be feasible. But we just don't know until and none of us has the expertise like she does to get those numbers. So,
And like I say, all of our loans and grants came through the USDA to begin with, which they do by fact. If we don't keep up and maintain our water system, they have the right to come in and seize everything that we've got and take it away from us. So, keep that in mind.
Well, I don't know that it's not being maintained.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, if we can't financially do it, if we reach that
Well,
point,
that's one of the
see?
reasons we're looking at.
we're not in that situation. He's just
No.
saying it's a
I'm
possibility.
just saying, there's possibility there, it's in our contract, in our initial contract, so
We're nowhere near that, so.
I do have a question. Committee assignments.
I do.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay,
So
I
we
saw it
still
up
need-
here and I just noticed that we
Yeah,
didn't, I didn't.
I see it. I just go back to it.
Still need to make a decision on whether we can go ahead and hire Susan and move it.
Oh, yeah, we'll finish this and we'll get to the other. So, is that a motion
Yes.
to hire Susan for some fact-finding material
For
for us?
advisory.
Would there be a
Position.
second on this motion? Roll call, please.
Bill.
Yes.
Mary Jane. Yes. Kathy.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
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 Okay, on the committees, reset the committees here. Street will be Neil and Joe. Finance will be Joe and Kathy. Lights will be Ralph. Sanitation will be Bill and Mary Jane. Safety will be Neil and Ralph. Building will be Neil. Ordinances and resolutions will be Mary Jane and Kathy.
Thank you. Good. We'll know that. So that when I get another phone call, I know who to tell them to call.
You get that for you?
Yeah, the same people, I think Ralph called you in.
Yeah, we've had some phone calls from some people thinking we ought to plow the snow to the neighbors that still don't get their half, so.
I went back a lot of years for all this discussion, and I had no idea what they were talking about.
And I told them, I said, listen, you can expect your half just like your neighbor gets half of it, so that's the way it is, so we're not, so, yeah, so. If there's nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn. The next meeting will be March 3rd at 7 o'clock.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Joe,
Yes.
Ralph,
Yes.
Neil,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Mary Jane, Bill.